So thank you for joining me. Today's video might be a bit of a rant, a bit of a moan, but it's all in good jest, and hopefully it will be somewhat of a therapeutic session for some of you guys out there, including myself. So we've got 10 days left of the transfer market, and what have we done so far? We've got Willian on a free. We've got Gabriel Magalhaes for about 22 million, 24 million, depending on the report. Other than that, in terms of outgoings, we've got Emilio Martinez, who's left the club, which is about 20 million, or some might say 16 million, with 4 million add-ons. And also, we got rid of Sam Greenwood for between 1 to 3 million pounds, which is not a lot. So if anything, we've pretty much broke even. Now, I'm not going to count Cedric Suarez and Pablo Mari because, let's be honest, those deals were conducted in January. But we're still sat here with 10 days left, and pretty much everyone can see we need a midfielder. Not only one. For me personally speaking, in order to get top four, we need 2 solid midfielders. But yet, we're still sat here. We're still... It's just typical Arsenal, ain't it? Every single time, whenever we enter a transfer market, we always seem to be 1-2 players short. Last season, fantastic bit of business. The only one piece of business that was missing was that high-profile centre-back. We should have got Daya Upamecano. Instead, we opted for a cheap alternative and a David Luiz. And guess what? We ended up finishing 8th, hence why we're here today. And I could go on. That season when Leicester City won the league, yeah, we needed a prolific goal scorer. Didn't get him. Signed no outfield players, and guess what? That was our downfall. Why do we do this all the time? Why do we dilly and dally constantly? You know, it's just Arsenal Football Club reminds me of my mum going to a market. The guy will say, hey, it's £1 a bowl, £1 a bowl. She'll turn around. Could I get that for 10 pence cheaper? Why? It's £1 a bowl. Just pay the man his pound. You know, same could be applied to Thomas Partey throughout this transfer market. We've been told, and we all know, his release clause is £45 million. What are Arsenal doing? Hey, Atletico, how about we give you Guendouzi and 25 mil? And they're like, how about no? It really frustrates me why we're so cheap when we've got a billionaire owner on our board. It's just typical Stan Kroenke. It's just everything about Arsenal. You know what? When Ralph Sinelli said, yeah, when Arsenal knock is a different type of knock, he was fucking right. Yeah, it's a Jehovah's Witness type of knock where you just say, who's it? Fuck off, get out of my house. You know, that's how it is. When we go around, yeah, knocking and dealing with other clubs, I've heard in the past a few agents have said that they dislike dealing with Arsenal because you know why? You never get the price you want with them. Look at United and Donny van der Beek. Ajax said 40 mil, United, here's your 40 mil. And guess what? It was done. Within 2 days, it was sorted out. Look at Jota. Liverpool just signed him, what, a few days ago? We didn't hear about it. Within 24 hours, signed. Why does everything have to just drag out with us? Look at the Gabriel Magalhaes. Took over, what? Apparently he was in England, yeah? And then the announcement didn't get made 2 weeks later. Willian. We all knew Willian was leaving before the season ended. Sorry, I mean, Willian was joining us before the season ended. But then guess what? It took us so long to announce that Willian. Mate, it's a free transfer. It's not that big. Just announce it. It's, you know, and a lot of this has to go down to Stan Kroenke. It comes from the board, right from the top. When you've got someone like him who's just not bothered, doesn't care. This is why we're always in this situation. It just frustrates me with Stan Kroenke. Just give Arteta, just say, here's 50 mil. You take the Arteta, yeah? With that 50 mil, you go invest it. I've now made you manager, yeah? You're telling me you get those midfielders you need. Therefore, you can get into the Champions League spot and I get my money back. It's simple. Regardless, even let's say if we do narrowly miss out on top 4 spot, he needs to understand in terms of the club itself. Next summer, we won't have Mesut Ozil because his contract will be up. So we're not having to fork out 350k a week. Mustafi, whether he leaves this summer or next season his contract's up as well, so that's another 100k off our wage bills. Socrates, it's looking increasingly that he's leaving this summer, but if not, his contract ends next summer as well. So we'll be in a healthier position. So why can't he, in terms of the owner owning 100% shares of the football club, think to himself, you know what, I will allow a bit of financial injection now, therefore I know later on down the line I would get my money back. It's simple, mate. You invest in something and guess what? You reap the rewards. Likewise, I've got a restaurant. Let's say my restaurant's not doing too well. Guess what I do? I start investing in it. I start making changes to the menu. I might do a bit of change up to the decor. And guess what? I'm expecting then business to be slightly booming. You know, it's just simple business. How can you tell me he's a businessman? Yeah, he's just lacking the basic knowledge. And for me, it's like he's taken on this the way American sports run, where it's self-sufficient. He doesn't understand it's completely different here, where you've got a transfer market where the best teams will go out there and procure the best players. You know, if we just sort of stay here, then this is the reason why we've been stagnating for so many years. So yes, I think the biggest reason, and I guarantee you most Arsenal fans will probably agree with me, Stan Kroenke, it's not a coincidence since he joined our club in, I believe, 2006. That's when we've digressed, you know, so regressed. It's just everything about him, lack of ambition. It shows and it reflects in the transfer market. But then again, you know, could that possibly be as well that we managed to get rid of Sinelli just before the transfer market got into its busy period? Why would we do that? I mean, I've heard that he was the one that was dealing a lot of the conversation around the Gabriel signing. After all, he's got that close connection with the president of Lille from dealing with the Pepe transfer last season. In addition to that, we've also heard that he was majorly involved in the whole Aubameyang contract, and towards the end when he left, there was just sort of finer details for the rest of the team, like Hosfami, to complete. Did we let go of Sinelli at the wrong time? I don't know. I can't say. I don't know the club inside that well, but perhaps that might be a reason why since he left, in terms of the business itself, it's gone pretty slow. Maybe lack of inexperience between Edu and Arteta is a reason why we can't really progress with the signings of a Partey and a Asamoah. Maybe they've not got that that business acumen in them to negotiate those dealings. As well as that, maybe they don't have the business acumen as well to make the sales that we need. We've got all of these deadwood players and we need to get them, and you hear it all the time by the media. We need to sell before we can bring in, and it seems like we can't even sell. And even when we do sell, we get clubs completely taking a piss out of us. When you're looking at Lucas Torreira and how Atletico Madrid are refusing to pay for him and even refusing a loan with an obligation to buy. We're treated like mugs constantly, and I want to see that change. I want Arsenal to actually go to Atletico and say, listen, you don't deal with Partey, then you know what? In terms of Torreira, you can fuck off. We'll go over to Torino, Fiorentina, who are going to pay us that fee, yeah? Pay us a transfer fee, whether it's 18, 20 million, you get that 20 million, go back to Atletico on the 11th hour, you pay Thomas Partey's release clause, and that's how you, and for me, that's how we make a statement. Therefore, Atletico will never mess with us again. And not only Atletico, we need to start acting like a big club. We need to, stop dilly-dallying when a manager says it's, 40 mil. It's pay the 40 mil. End of the day, 45 million pounds for Thomas Partey. It's not much, is it? When you think about it, I'm hearing Chelsea are now looking at getting Declan Rice for 50 mil, and you're telling me 45 mil is too much for Thomas Partey. Don't know what to say. And what makes it worse, apparently, we might be interested in Jorginho, of Chelsea. Why would you get Jorginho? Can you imagine a midfield pivot of Jorginho and Granit Xhaka? Fucking hell. You might as well call us Dinosaur FC. We will never ever be able to sort of move out from the defence to attack fast with those two. They're just super slow. Just makes no sense. You don't want that. And the whole reason why I've been banging on the whole Thomas Partey drum is because I really feel that we're lacking an athletic midfielder. We don't have that in Granit Xhaka. We don't have that in Dani Ceballos. We just need someone in there who's very mobile and that can move up and down constantly and drive with the ball. And Jorginho's not going to do that. Why are we even considering a cheap alternative? And when you look at the bigger picture, is it reasonable that Lyon won 50 mil? Yeah? Is it reasonable that Atletico Madrid want 45 mil for Thomas Partey? No, for me, it's not. You know, we're not in the same position where Man United have that conundrum with Jadon Sancho at Dortmund, where they are demanding in excess of 100 mil. Combined with Thomas Partey and Houssem Aouar, it's going to cost us less than 100 mil. Yet we're still stood here. See, for me, I'm so done. I'm so done with all this being a laughing stock. Why are we always going into a season 1 or 2 players short? Why do we leave things last minute? Why couldn't have we sorted all this out? We know that next month is going to be a tough month for us with the fixtures we have. We've got Liverpool, United, City, Leicester, difficult games. Sheffield United, I believe. So surely, you know, what's that saying? You fail to prepare and prepare to fail. You know, we do it constantly. Then we realise, yeah, we just missed out on top 4. Was it 2 seasons when Tottenham pipped us to 4th spot by 1 point? 1 point. When you think about, getting Thomas Partey, Houssem Aouar, let's say 2 weeks ago, they would now, be ready to play those big games come next month. And that could be the difference of finishing 5th and 4th. But yet, we stood here and we make the same mistake constantly. I mean, I'm not too optimistic. And for me, even if we can't get both, I'd be happy with, let's say, a decent alternative, but not Jorginho. Not Jorginho. I'm more than happy to look at, let's say, Ibrahim Sangare from Toulouse. They only want 10 mil of him. 10 million. 10 million for Sangare. Why is that so difficult? You know, let's get him in. And Aouar, if you can't get a Partey and Aouar, it's like I sometimes believe us fans know better than the club itself in terms of the acquisitions we need and how to deal with these things. Like many years when we were crying out for a DM and all we kept doing was signing more attacking midfielders. That's just typical Arsenal for you. As I said, I'm not too optimistic. And if I was to give you my honest opinion, I think we might get one. And if we do, it will be pretty much on the last day. But we'll stay tuned. Thank you for listening to my rant, and hopefully it's been as much therapeutic for yourself as it has been for myself. Thank you.